Hey everybody, Steve here with the results of another poll. I posted this one on my channel about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I thought I'd share the results with you today. Hopefully you can see the screen and there's not too much glare. So I posted the poll in the community section of my channel. It's actually the posts tab. So if you click on posts, you can see all of the polls that I posted. The topic of this post was, how do you spend most of your time now that you're retired? And as you can see, this was posted 2 weeks ago. The options were traveling, socializing, hobbies, or other. So only 14% of you selected traveling. That kind of surprised me. I guess, you always hear about people retiring and then spending their retirement years traveling. That seems to be a pretty popular thing to do when you're retired. But at least with those of you who voted in this particular poll, and there were 264 of you, only 14% of you said traveling. Now socializing was the lowest with only 9%. I think maybe the word socializing might be a little misleading. What I was thinking of when I wrote socializing was socializing with friends and family. Spending more time with your family. And I know a lot of you do that because you leave comments about it all the time. But I'm guessing because the percentage is so low, maybe a lot of you thought I was talking about socializing, like going out at night or partying more. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling if I would have said spending more time with family, this probably would have been a lot higher than 9%. So hobbies at 50%. Doesn't surprise me because that's what I spend almost all of my time doing. My primary hobby is YouTube, and that does take up most of my free time. So I'm not surprised that a lot of you also spend a lot of time with your hobbies. Other was the second largest category at 27%. And that doesn't surprise me because YouTube only allows you 4 slots, 4 questions. I would have actually put in maybe 6 to 10 questions, because I know there are a lot of other things that people do in retirement. So other is just sort of a catch-all category for everything else, that for all of the other questions that I wasn't able to post here. So the surprising thing, even though only 264 of you voted in this poll, 100 of you left comments. That's pretty high for comments on these polls that I post every week. So let me read some of the comments. Okay, so Linda says, I just try to take it easy, but still keep active with yard work, which I like, and enjoying watching Mr. Steve videos. Hey, I like that. LD Hawthorne says, since my husband and I retired early this year, I have found myself enjoying extreme couponing again. I'm pretty sure I have 5 years of laundry detergent by now. Not only is couponing fun, but it saves a ton. Yeah, that does sound like a fun hobby, and a very practical one too. Marlene Pearson says, I love to sleep, relax, and enjoy alone time. I have a couple of friends, but I enjoy my alone time, watching what I want to watch on TV, reading, peace, and quiet. That sounds pretty nice. Britta left a very long comment here. Let's see. Hi, Steve. I spent the first year reorganizing my home and learning how to relax. The next few years, I tried to do some budget DIY projects, shopping at thrift stores for things to upcycle, and took care of my aging pets until they both passed. I've been floundering since the last one passed in October of 2023. I'm no longer in the mood to do anything but be at home. I'm 64 now, married, no children, no savings, and without any plans for the future. I am in good health at least. Gina Pazzilli says, in 5 years, I'll be happy to finally sit and relax. I guess Gina's going to be retiring in 5 years. Barbara Stewart says, I'm 63 and retired for health reasons, COPD. So I stay at home. Only go out for appointments. I stay away from crowds. Even a simple cold can get me very sick, but I love being home reading, doing puzzles, and most of all, resting. Thanks for your videos, Steve. I enjoy them very much. Well, thank you, Barb. Jerry Taylor says, volunteer 6 days a week at a food pantry. Christy Caballero says, I love walking more than ever now. Walk almost every day like you, Steve. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do too. Vicky the Leo says, I do what I want, no more alarm clocks. I piddle around the house, do needlework, puzzles, cooking and baking. I have lunch with friends on occasion, and I'm starting to travel in May. And of course, watch Steve on YouTube, of course. Kay says, I spend my time watching your videos. I travel a lot more now, but I'm getting a bit old for those 3-week European trips. That is why I'm spending my money in California more often now. Fall to spring, it's more Palm Springs, and the hot summer, it's Big Bear or the coast. I know I'm very lucky to have the resource to do that. That's awesome. Tree Hugga says, my German Shepherd dog, named Ellie, takes most of my time. Corgis says, just walking dogs. Doing the basics, shopping, med appointments, no more freeway traveling, just local streets. Rosalind Campus says, I have worked so hard all my life, mostly putting in 70 to 80 hours a week. Yeah, that's a lot. All I want to do is nothing. I actually enjoy my little home. I lived in a factory practically. Jan from Seattle says, hi Steve, I chose other as I do spend a lot of time with hobbies like classic film, cooking, not a hobby, and listening to great music. I also knit when the urge strikes. I have stage 4 cancer and have to spend much of my time trying to feel well. I also spend a huge chunk of time with my family. My son is at home now getting ready for grad school later this year. Wow, so sorry to hear about the stage 4 cancer, Jan. It's nice you're able to spend time with family and to do the things you want to do, though. Big G says, the internet takes up much more of my time than it should. It has replaced TV as chewing gum for the eyes. Biarritz says, I'm going back to work so I can have egg money. Laugh out loud. Kevin Allen left a very long comment here, so I'll let you just pause the video screen if you want to read this entirely. Dana Pretzer says, watching Steve on YouTube. Of course. Thank you, Dana. Deborah White says, winter cramped my style. Just when you think you can make plans, it frickin' snows and the roads become too dangerous. Now the snow is gone and things are looking up. Kevin Costello says, I love being retired, getting things done I never had time for before. Yeah, that's definitely a plus, isn't it? Lawyer Calhoun says, as an active amateur radio operator, I spend a lot of time upgrading and maintaining my radio equipment, talking to friends all over the world and socializing with my peers. Wow, that's really interesting. I bet there are a lot of YouTube channels for amateur radio operators as well. It's not something I do, so I've never checked, but that's the beauty of YouTube. There's videos and channels for every hobby and every interest, so that's definitely an interesting one. Judy Hu says family and grandkids. Lisa Schwartz says, my sister and I take a cruise every year. It's Alaska this May. I'm a homebody, so I cook, clean, spend time with my husband and our dogs. I'm close with my kids and grandkids too. I also have more time for prayer and Bible study. I also walk and do some resistance training. It's a good retirement life. Vicki Bell says, I get in the books by mail program from Napa County Library, and I take care of guinea pigs, Rosita and Fred Mertz. They keep me busy. Chris last name says, since I retired at the end of last year, I've been spending way too much time online. I still do the treadmill every day. Maureen Sawick says, I go to the Y or walk in the state park. Also trying new recipes and watching my favorite YouTube creators, including you. Going to visit Palm Springs next winter. Now, I can't even pronounce the next person's handle, Athomanaz. I said other because I spend my time traveling, socializing, and on hobbies equally. And sorry if I butchered your name there. The Park Lark Private says, I have morning and afternoon activities of driving my grandson to school. In between, I eat breakfast and lunch and watch some of the regular YouTube channels. But as the temperature has become warmer and the days grow longer, I will make evening outings to theme parks. That sounds like fun, and I bet you're going to take your grandson, who's going to enjoy that as well. Dorthra Walker says, I stay home, no money to go anywhere, yet I have great company, my crazy 7. I'm guessing cats? The comment got cut off there. Sue Logue Johnson says, mainly it's reading and working jigsaw puzzles because I don't watch TV. I'm guessing Sue probably watches YouTube on her phone. Stigger says, recovering from all the surgeries and procedures. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're doing better. Hope you're doing well. WDH says, alcohol. Okay. I have a feeling that's a joke. I hope that's a joke, but, whatever. RKS says, I'm obsessed with YouTube. I watch it all day. I'm subscribed to 113 YouTube channels. Only 113? Yeah, I subscribe to quite a few too, but I probably only have about a dozen that I watch on a real regular basis. Dan Karan says, I have more time to enjoy my hobbies and ride my trike now that I'm retired. Well, that's interesting. I hope you're not riding in the street, though. Here in Palm Springs, as I've probably mentioned many times on this channel, people get run over on their bicycles just so often. It's shocking, and so many of them ride at night. Please, hopefully you're not riding at night. And so anyway, that's just my 2 cents. DS left quite a long comment, so again, go ahead and just pause this video if you want to read DS's comment. The next comment is from SMC. We live in a golf cart community, so we spend a lot of time on our golf cart with our dog. Joe Mama says, I love a good nap. Yeah, you and me both. And I also posted recently a poll about how often people nap now that we're retired, and I'll be sharing that post coming up soon. Steve Daniel says, minding my own business and taking care of myself. Well, that's no fun, minding your own business. Nobody does that, do they? I sure wish everyone would mind their own business, as I've said many times on these videos, especially when I'm out filming in public. Brian says, looking for work. I'm still young, but I stopped working because of my health, but since everything is so expensive and I may lose my insurance and disability, thanks to the man in the White House, I spend my days looking for work. Mary Lopez says, hobbies, walking, relaxing when I want. Now here are a couple more very long comments, so just feel free to pause and read them if you're interested. But since there are 100 comments, I'm not going to read all of the long ones. John Petticore here at the bottom says, watching YouTube. So here are the last 3 comments. Checkmate says, I sleep more because it doesn't cost me anything, because Social Security doesn't pay anything either. Elaine Palamides? Sorry if I messed up the pronunciation. I usually do mess up everyone's names. I love to read and cook. Holly at Hill says, primary caretaker to my husband. As I've said before, caretaking is probably the most difficult thing you can do, whether you're retired or not, but also one of the nicest things you can do for someone. So your husband is very lucky, and I hope you have someone to help you out once in a while. You're doing a very good thing. So thank you for sharing that with us. So thank you to all of you who took the time to vote in this latest poll, and to all of you who left comments. You left some very interesting comments. And for those of you who didn't take the poll, feel free to go back and take it. It's still posted. It'll remain there, so you can take it anytime you want. Or you can just comment underneath this video here and let us know your thoughts. So as always, thanks for sharing with us, and I hope to see you all again next time.